Hey, Kevin.
Hello, how old are you?
I'm 29.
First name?
Lola.
Okay, Lola, what's your criticism or critique?
Well, firstly, I want to say I think it's your delivery. Even though what you say does not stop, I mean, the way you deliver it doesn't take away from the facts. I feel that because of the way you say you want to help Black women, especially the Black community, and we have a lot of issues with always having our defense up. So I feel like sometimes your delivery could be a little bit harsh, especially to women who are just ignorant and don't know. And I feel like if you want to educate, I'm not saying you have to talk all studious all the time or anything, but it would be good that if you could get down on our level in a way and explain, because we have a hard time of understanding things.
So,
And I'm
hold on, you're going on a little bit long.
We have a hard time of understanding. That's the problem, ma'am.
The tone. How long have you been watching my content?
for about a year.
So, when things go off the rail, I come in and treat women that way. I automatically go from 0 to 100.
No, I didn't say that you go from 0 to 100. I'm just saying
The tone matches. I mirror.
say that again.
I mirror.
Okay.
God, I find it interesting that women have such an issue with the tone, and you ladies don't seem to have the same issue with the woman's behavior first.
That's a good point. That's a very valid point. He wouldn't have to have a certain tone if the demeanor of these women that come on his show wasn't a certain way. We should really take issue with the way these women are stepping to him on his platform rather than getting upset about his tone.
I don't think it's mostly the tone. It's just your delivery. The tone is okay.
The delivery, the tone, it doesn't start off that way.
That's understandable, and I know that. I'm just saying because of the fact, here's what my point is. Us Black women, we have the shitty end of the stick, okay? Whether it's because
She came ready with her excuse.
we induced it or because of our past, okay? And I feel that we are...
No, you don't. You don't. You don't.
Why would you say we don't?
Here's the simple thing. Talk to Black men like you talk to your white boss. And that's all we need from you. Talk to us, excuse me, listen, process, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
Black women know how to check all of that when their job is on the line. Talk to us like we're your white boss, and we got no more problems. Now your turn.
Okay. I understand that part, and I guess that's not the part I'm mostly getting at. Because I personally seen lives that you done with certain women where I understood where they were trying to come from, and because of your philosophy, I can see why they were thinking on that end, because I used to think that way. And I'm a little bit more clearer with thinking because of the way I've known how to be submissive. I know what it is to be in the presence of a real man. And if I see one that's not a real man, I move out the way because of my submissiveness. And it helps me to spot out the good and the bad in men. A lot of women
10 seconds.
Huh?
10 seconds. You're kind of starting to go on. So I'm saying about another 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. All I'm saying is that I just feel just the way that you explain it. It's not about your tone. The way you come off of it and the way you just be a little bit on the rude side with it. I just feel it's just harder for us.
No. Do you watch the Average Your Best video?
I would say that that's probably his number one complaint that he gets from women. His number one critique is that he's rude, or his delivery, his tone. It's not necessarily what he said, it's how he said it. I mean, it is what it is. That's the way he has to talk in order to get these women's attention. Like sometimes if he's not rude or if he's not direct, the women will just go off on a tangent. They make all kinds of excuses. They go around in circles. They take you up, down, all around. You don't get to the point. It's just a mess. So from watching his content, I feel like he's got a very efficient way of talking, and it can come off as crass, but it's necessary most times.
Yes.
About how long was that video?
Was not almost 2 hours, I believe.
The video, the average and best video, the segment with that conversation.
Okay, I don't know. I think I've just seen the whole live on that. If I'm not
But when
mistaken.
I did the average and best video, the conversation, about how long was that conversation with that woman?
I'm not sure, Kevin, but I'm not sure.
It was almost 23 minutes.
Okay.
And people want to talk about the last 4 minutes. Everything you're asking, be understanding, break it down, talk to it in a certain way, was done at least 10 times. I'm a professional. When I talk to people, I meet them at their level, and my patience rivals that of Job. There are people in the comment section daily say, I don't know how you do it. And yet
I don't know about Job now, Kevin. That's a pretty big stretch. Job, he's talking about Job from the Bible, if you don't know. I don't know that Kevin is the most patient. I feel like sometimes he is very impatient, especially like when they're trying to get around to their point. He's like, come on. He just told the lady 10 seconds, just a few seconds ago. So he's not the poster child for patience.
And yet I get women like yourself asking for more patience. No. If you're saying break it down, nope. Level up like I'm a white man. Here's my retort to the tone conversation. Approach me like you'd have to approach a white man you were trying to marry you. Then we got no more problems. Step to me like you step to a white man who's paying your paycheck. Treat me like they treat the white man, and we got no more issues.
But Kevin, not
because then
everyone.
the ownership is on you, women, to do better, not
And
me.
I agree.
Then what's the retort?
Oh, I'm ready to talk. Okay. My whole thing is this. You keep on saying the tone. I'm going to give you an example.
Tone, delivery, it's interchangeable. Tone, delivery, the way I come across. It's all the same thing.
Okay, so you're pretty much just saying, just to end it off. So in a whole gist, you're just pretty much saying that when it comes to women, and not even women, I've seen a couple of men, and for some reason I don't feel sorry for them, but you're just pretty much saying, like, if they don't get it, it's just kind of like, just get with it or get lost kind of situation.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Women need to level up. 95% of the women that come on his show, they're not ready for the relationships they say they're ready for. They're not ready for marriage. They're not ready to be picked. They need to up their game, up their skill set, up their knowledge. So yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. Level up, ladies.
Comes to you trying to help other people, because honestly, I really don't have an issue with anything you talk about. I just love it
because in our particular community, if black women want to get a better job, they know they can't just have a high school diploma. They know that they got to go to a junior college or a college. They know they got to go sign that paper to get in debt. They know they got to go to class. They know they got to do a bunch of stuff just to put themselves in a position to go work in somebody's company to get a job. You know what black men are saying? Take that same can-do, figured-out spirit and learn how to be my wife. Like every other group of women on this planet, treat black men like you treat the white man in your mind, and we got no more problems. Because I don't hear black women telling white men to moderate their tone. I don't hear black women telling white institute, you need to do this or do that. No, they figure it out.
I hear you.
Yeah, and when you put it this way, it makes a lot more sense, because black men are trying to speak to us black women. They're trying to say, hey, you guys are not cutting it, you know. And instead of meeting them with excuses, we need to be finding solutions for how to build the black home back up again, how to get black marriage back. I think a lot of women don't want to hear what he's saying right now, but it's something that needs to be said. And not only does it need to be said, but we need to receive it before it's too late. Because I don't think that men are going to lower their standards anytime. They're just going to start looking elsewhere for women who rise to the occasion, for women who level up and meet the demands that they're looking for.
What you're basically asking us to do is to continue to coddle and settle, and you're asking us to do more work. The men aren't going to do it. You shaking your head?
That's not what I'm saying as men.
But that's what it is.
Specifically about you.
But
I'm not saying
okay.
men in general.
And the answer is
you told me
no.
to critique you, Kevin.
The answer and the answer is when Simon Cowell, Jordan Ramsey, Kevin O'Leary, Donald Trump, any white man in a position of power who speaks his mind, their women get in line. Our women tell us, watch your tone. I ain't watching my tone. I own you. You own the kids. God owns me. We report up. Get in line. We're not equals. If my tone is harsh, get out of a man's presence. But stop trying to get a man to be like a woman. Because those men who act like that, you call them bitches. And it's not going to happen. Do you want men who can lead and fight and defend and protect?
Kevin, you keep on talking
about. Do you
men
want men who can fight?
Yes, of course, but
then
that's
you gotta take everything that comes with it.
Okay, Kevin. I guess we'll agree to disagree. I guess you're talking generally. I'm talking specifically on you educating the women.
And I'm telling you, when I look at my non-black counterparts who do what I do, they don't have to hear this tone stuff from their women. They don't have to hear the same thing because their women expect men to speak in a powerful tone. Our women have grown accustomed to men kowtowing and not saying what's on our mind. Like women often say, it's a new day. Sis, it's a new day. This is the new black man. And it's only gonna grow bigger. Y'all better get used to the tone because we all y'all got. I appreciate what you're saying.
I think you're kind of missing the point.
I get what you're saying, but it's not, ma'am, I've heard this for 3 years. I'm not going to talk like Steve Harvey or these other people. And
I told you in the beginning,
I'm not going to do
that's
any
not
of
what I'm
that.
saying.
I'm not going to, but bottom line, man, then who, okay, here's a question for you.
We'll agree to disagree,
Hold
Kevin.
on. Whose tone should what black man has the right tone? How about that?
Okay, so I'm going to specify what tone I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it comes down to these women trying to say, why?
Give me an example. Give me an example of a black man whose tone
like a woman. Excuse me, say that again?
Give me an example of a black man whose tone is about right.
I'm not. See, because I don't think you're getting.
Stop. Stop. Tone, delivery, whatever it is you're talking about, give me the example of a black man who has it about right. Don't get stuck on the word tone. Outcome.
That's
ma'am, give me an example of a man who's
my
doing
husband,
it.
I guess my husband.
Don't nobody know your husband.
All right then, but I don't specifically.
Okay, ma'am. I'm not asking you a trick question.
I do not know of a black man randomly who's a celebrity. I can say their tone is right, like because
That's because there are none. There are no other platforms like Kevin's that are speaking to black men and women in the way that he does. That's why his show is so special and so unique. He's one of the first to do it. So
because the way I'm trying to explain.
Then how do you? Okay, listen what you just said. You want me to do something or improve something, and you can't even point to an example.
Kevin.
Ma'am, that's
okay.
Understand. That's what you just said.
Can I
I'm
say
asking
one thing?
you for an ma'am, calm down. Hold on. Follow me here. I think we're somewhere. You want your kid to make up a bed. You show them how to make up a bed. You give them an example. You don't say figure it out or how my cousin used to do it. Give me an example of a man, not your husband. I don't know him.
I don't know, Uncle Phil from freaking Fresh Prince or something.
Did she really just say Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince? Girl, bye. A comedy sitcom from the 90s. We're supposed to use that as an example of how a man should talk to black women. No! First of all, Uncle Phil was a pushover when it came to Aunt Viv. So, what are you talking about, man?
Can I just say one thing? Let me explain something.
No. I want you to see what I want you to do is if this is a big enough thing for you to ask me to do, I'm willing to hear you. But you gotta meet me where I'm. See, this is one of the issues. Oh, stop! I need you to stop. I need you to stop. This is one of the big issues. Our women do not want to give us what we need to get better. I'm asking you, give me an example, and you're just like, whatever, Uncle Phil. If it ain't Uncle Phil, don't tell me Uncle Phil. Don't move forward. Do not pass go. Stay right here and think about an example. If it's that important to where you got on here to talk to me, I'm listening. Give me the respect of giving me an example. Think about it.
So you want me to give you an example of a man whose tone is good? Pretty much you're saying?
An example of a man whose delivery, whatever you want to call it, you understand the overall sentiment, not your husband.
I wouldn't. I don't know.
So what I want you to understand,
so do you mean like, can I say
no, ma'am, what I want you to understand is you want me to do something and I'm asking you how to, and you're not even telling me what it is. How can I do that? How can I change my delivery? How can I change my tone if you can't tell me and show me an example?
Can I give you an example of what I mean of something that
you give me an example of a man. You give me an example of a person, because you have to be okay. See, there's something. Excuse me. There's something in your mind.
What? She's gonna go from Uncle Phil to Minister Farrakhan? Really? Nah, like this girl is all over the place. She did not understand the assignment, and I think that a lot of times that's also the issue. Like, they don't understand the question at hand. They don't just take time to let it sink in. They just want to make their point and get it across. So when he tosses them a question, it's like they don't really stop to acknowledge it and truly answer the question. That's something that I find frustrating when I watch his shows. It's like, dang, just answer the question. It's pretty straightforward. You know, this is not rocket science. Like he said, it's not a trick question. I just literally want you to answer this question. And there's always like a runaround. And it's like, why? I don't get it.
That you're comparing this to. There's an example you're comparing this to. What's that example?
I'm comparing to an example on, for example, if a woman calls and she says she has 3 kids.
A man. And who has the right tone, delivery? What's the example?
I told you Farrakhan. I gave you him as an example.
Farrakhan.
He's a great teacher. I love the way he teaches and he puts things across.
You say I should Farrakhan.
I didn't say.
Excuse me, Farrakhan.
You're trying to twist my words.
I want to be clear. Stop. I want to be clear. Are you saying Minister Louis Farrakhan is an example? Is that what you're saying?
You just broke up. Can you say that again?
Are you saying Minister Louis Farrakhan?
I'm just giving that as an example of somebody who teaches in.
Okay, ma'am. Have you heard? Farrakhan is far harsher than I am.
Can I speak and say something?
Sure.
Because you're asking questions and I feel like you're leading a narrative somewhere. Listen, when it comes to
everybody in the chat room seems to get it. You don't get it.
You're not letting me explain at all. Right? I'm trying to get something across.
30 seconds, go.
Okay. I'm trying to say, when I'm explaining to you your delivery as a man, the way you speak, if you were a husband or just a man out there, that's great. The same way I feel that a woman in the workplace should be a little bit aggressive, but when it comes to her home, she should be feminine. So you're talking to me about other men when that's not the issue. I don't have, a man should be a leader and should not have to listen to anything that a woman says, especially if he's a real man. But I'm talking to you as a person that has a platform that is teaching. Whether you are a man or a woman, I would have told you the same thing. So it doesn't come down to necessarily anything of you being a man. I'm just talking when you're educated people.
Okay, hold on. Ma'am, I grew up listening to pastors and preachers. And let me tell you, what I'm saying is light. What I'm saying, growing up in the Baptist church, see, we don't even preach sin in today's church. We got single mothers with 3 kids by 4 different dudes sitting on the front aisle. I grew up in the Christian church, Baptist, then with the Church of God in Christ. I hung with members of the Nation of Islam, Fruit of Islam. And let me tell you something. Those men talked about something a hell of a lot different. See, our problem is our women aren't used to any criticism or critique. It is what it is. The tone is going to be what it is. If you want me to go between Farrakhan and Uncle Phil is a character.
You're literally just trying to drag words out of me to make it seem.
I answered the question 8.
That's literally what you said, ma'am. He's not dragging words out of your mouth. You literally said that. So don't try to make it seem like he's spinning a narrative. Get out.
Different times. See, my thing is, I want you guys to understand, they want us to be things they can't even. You got to give a man an example. Y'all want men to do something different? Give me an example. Talk to me like my husband. Could you imagine if I talk like Farrakhan? Farrakhan?
So yes, I agree with Kevin 100% on that segment right there. The world has become too soft in general. People don't like criticism. There's this whole cancel culture. There are women to this day, their whole mission is to get Kevin Samuels canceled because they don't like what he's saying. And it's one of the very few platforms that Black men have to voice their opinion. And we should definitely be paying attention to it. Even if we don't agree, we definitely need to pay attention to the conversations that are happening there, because there's something there that especially Black women need to hear. I think that Black women have really started to turn a deaf ear to these things, and they need to re-examine what it is that they should be doing for their household, what they need to be doing in order to make themselves presentable people in society. And it's just a lot. There's etiquette, there's a lot of self-development, regardless of whether you're looking for a high value man or not. Can you hold a conversation? It's really fundamental things that are crippling our community, especially the Black female community. And I think that he makes a lot of good points, and I don't know. I wish that people weren't so sensitive, so that more people could come to the truth and be able to have better outcomes. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Thanks to the internet, we're all able to be part of the conversation. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hello.
Hi, Kevin.